Welcome to AP Breakdown. We're your hosts, Rahi Patel
and Tahasser Batula.
Today we're going to be talking about AP Environmental Science with the APES teacher, Mr. Zynda at Troy High School.
Thank you so much, Mr. Zynda, for being on this podcast.
Well, thanks for having me.
The first question we have is, what is AP Environmental Science?
AP Environmental Science is a course that covers the biological, the physical, the chemical interactions within the environment, and it has a huge portion on how humans impact the environment. We do earth science, we do food webs, food chains, and we do water pollution, we do air pollution, we do global change, we do it all.
Now, the next question is a bit more general, but how many AP classes should students take in general that it's beneficial for them or for their college applications?
Well, I'm not a counselor, but I will say this. It's been a big controversy in the Troy School District. You know, how many APs should a student really take per year? I will tell you right now, as we're entering AP weeks, these next 2 weeks of testing, there's a lot of stressful faces out there because they have a lot of AP classes. So it's really up to the student, you know? If you take 1 or 2 APs a semester or a year, that's beneficial. If you take 6 and you can handle it, you're amazing. But I will tell you that there are a number of kids that probably get a little bit underwater when they take too many AP classes.
For students who don't have the ability to take an AP class, how can they self-study for an AP class?
Well, there's a couple of self-study guides that are out there that I've used in the past. You have the Barron's, which is a classic. I mean, just think about your SAT prep. Have you ever prepped for the SAT?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, you can go to Barnes & Noble, you can go to Amazon, Princeton Review does a book. You also have, like I said, the other one that's out there. And, you know, grab yourself a textbook, all right? You can buy a used one online, Amazon, and you'd go through that. You'd also have to get onto the College Board website and see what their requirements are for the course. So that's another thing that you have to look at.
Now, the next question is, what is the hardest part about taking AP Environmental Science?
The hardest part? The kids are going to tell you that it's one of the easy AP classes.
Yeah.
All right.
I've
And that's
heard
when
that.
they always talk about it. I always say, thank you for letting me know that. But the bottom line is this, you got to work at it. All right. A lot of kids in Troy really don't pay attention to their environment or what's going on in their environment, either locally or globally. So there's a lot of information out there, a lot of concepts that we cover that in many cases are new to them. And so that they have to develop that work ethic and be able to do the homework and study. And one of the things I'm noticing nowadays with kids is they're so into scrolling on TikTok. When you ask them to actually do some reading and do some research, it's hard for them because you got to focus, not just for 3 seconds, you know.
What does the AP exam look like for this class?
The AP exam for this class will be 3 free response questions. One of them will include a scientific method piece. One will be solving an environmental problem, just analyzing it and applying certain concepts. And another one will be analyzing an environmental problem and utilizing math in that solving of that problem. And of course, there's going to be 80 multiple choice questions included.
So do these multiple choice questions have a stimulus add to it, or is just like general MCQ questions?
So it's going to be similar to your SAT. In many cases, you're going to have a short read. And in that short read, typically the first answer is in that read, you know,
Yeah.
and then after that, you're applying concepts you learned to that read that you did. And so that's pretty much set up. And they'll have some other questions. They'll have some matching on occasion and whatnot, yes.
What majors in college would AP Environmental Science be good for?
I think if you're a bio major, I think if you're an environmental science major, if you're looking at urban planning, an urban planning major, you know, even a business major, so you have some sense of what's going on in the world today. I mean, that's huge. So, you know, it's really about being diversified and understanding the bigger picture as we humans walk on this earth and the future for you guys. And let's say if you just chose to have kids, your kids. I mean, that's the big deal.
Now, what inspired you to teach AP Environmental Science?
Well, in the late 90s, I was asked to design an environmental course for the Troy School District. So it's a semester course. My principal, probably 7-8 years later, said, hey, will you teach AP Enviro? I figured it was a good fit. My initial degree in college that I pursued was a forester. I was going to be a forester. Didn't like land surveying, horrible, so that I chose to be a biologist. I was offered 2 programs, one on Isle Royale to study endangered plants, one at the University of Wisconsin-Madison to do habitat typing, but my lovely wife that I have now, my Polish princess, would not move to either place. So I got certified to teach, and I've been teaching ever since, and I'm an environmental guy. I fish, I hike, I camp, I hunt. That's what I do.
What does the workload of this class look like?
For the student or for the teacher?
For the students.
For the student. I make them do a lot of homework. I actually make them, their homework is their study guide for the AP test. So as I cover concepts, I cover modules, they're doing the modules out of Strive for a 5 to make sure we're hitting all the topics. So that does keep them busy. And we do lab write-ups and whatnot too, but the daily homework can be monotonous at times, but in the end, it's going to be beneficial.
So what advice would you give to students who want to take this class?
You'd want to like to go outside. We do a Rouge River study where I have the kids out there on the water, both chemical and biological sampling. We do soil studies. I have them digging soil pits in the woodlot. We do horizon development. We learn a lot of wildflowers, trees, and herbaceous plants because they don't know what's out there. But you got to be able to move around, get outside, and think about what you're looking at. I send them to the Troy Nature Center, and they do a whole project there. And it's just really about getting in touch with the living world.
So if I go outside, will I get a 5 on this AP exam? Like, that's all I have to do to pass this class, right?
That wouldn't get you a 5. No,
Oh.
I'd get you a 1. And in some cases, being number 1 is a great thing, right?
Yeah.
Except if you're in the AP realm. But that allows you to take those concepts you're covering and connect it to the real world. And that's what's important.
So going outside will still help me for this class, right?
I think so. I think there's a greater appreciation of what you're learning because you were outside.
So what's the coolest thing you do in this class?
I don't know what the kids would say is the coolest thing. We do count dead people. I mean, I think that's cool. We do a human demography project where we're looking at human population, 2 different groups. So I always enjoy that, which is actually a college level lab, both at the bachelor's program and the master's program. So it's kind of cool. But I think the kids really enjoy going out on the Rouge, catching macroinvertebrates, looking at their data, analyzing it, determining what's going on in that body of water. Is it good? Is it bad? What could we change? That kind of thing.
So from what I'm understanding, this class has a lot of data analysis to it. Or
definitely some data analysis.
Yeah.
So, which is a good thing. And when you think about that AP test, they're going to give you data, and you're going to have to analyze it. So, there you go.
What advice would you give to students taking an AP?
Well, it's like I'm talking to my students every day right now as we're getting ready for the AP. You gotta look at it, go over it, spend time with it. You've learned this stuff, you've mastered it at some point, maybe you forgot some of it. Let's go back and review it, all right? And the more practice you do, the better you're gonna score on that test.
So what resources can students use to practice for AP Environmental Science?
Well, going back to those self-study books, Barron's, Princeton Review, AP Classroom should be your friend. College Board has put a lot of effort into developing AP Classroom to be a great resource when it comes to reviewing, looking at where you're at within the course and your knowledge base, and then preparing for that test.
Since this class is considered one of the easier APs, do you think the concepts in this class are just more easier for students to pick up? Is that why?
So, again, we're going to say that the idea is that it's one of the easier APs. If you look at the pass rate for the AP Environmental Science test, up until last year, the pass rate was anywhere between 50 and 53%. Mm-hmm. So when we talk about it being one of the easiest APs, it's kind of a chuckle because Not everybody's passing it. This last year, I think they evaluated how they were scoring it. So it actually went up to 63% of the people globally that took it passed it. So I would say that I think students come in with the mindset that it's going to be super easy, and it's a little more challenging than they think. No, it's not AP Chem, and it's not AP Physics, and it's not AP Bio, but I mean, you got to work at it.
What is your favorite part about teaching this AP course?
To be honest with you, I just like it all. It's what I do. It's what I'm connected with. I enjoy the whole class. Sorry about that answer. It's very general, but it's true.
What is something about this course that students tend to dislike a lot?
The homework.
Oh.
Let's go with the homework on that. They seem to do well. I mean, I'm old-fashioned. I do lecture, I do lab, I do review, I do tests. That's what I do. So they seem to buy into just about everything. It's just the, homework, and I'm sure you love doing homework too.
Definitely.
But that's the deal.
For sure.
What is your favorite unit to teach in this class?
Favorite unit? I like water quality. I like getting out there, getting in the hip boots, catching stuff, just walking out there. We walk to the Rouge, so we do it a couple days a week. We'll get out there, and yeah, it's just a whole good experience.
Do you guys go outside a lot in this class?
In the beginning of the year, we go outside a ton. As the weather gets bad, I used to take them out in the winter, but dressing the students was a rough time. So I'd have to take them down to the Lost and Found and dress them in old, jackets and stuff. It got too old there. So we stopped doing that. So once the weather gets bad, and I would say late November, it's pretty much an indoor experience.
So what is students' favorite concept to learn in this class typically?
The kids that have graduated, they remember the trees, which is funny. It's just a dendrology lab, and College Board expects you to do X amount of labs.
Yeah.
There's no trees on the AP test. But the kids love doing that because they're learning all these different things, and the parents love it because the kids are sharing stuff with them. Because typically, do you talk a lot with your parents, adolescent-wise?
Yeah.
You do? You're abnormal. All right, that's cool. But most, adolescents, they kind of ignore their parents and they don't talk too much. But you get them going outside and going places, it excites both of them. It gets the family involved too, which is kind of cool.
Thank you so much, Mr. Zynda, for being on this podcast.
We hope you got more insight about AP Environmental Science and plan on taking it.
Thank you so much for watching this episode, and I hope you have a great day. And don't forget to follow our Instagram at AP Breakdown TSD.
Have a great day. Bye.
Bye.